This is a tutorial on how to program and schedule your lighting settings in the Pangealink software platform. After logging into Pangealink, select the Dashboard button on the upper left-hand side of the screen. The list on the left-hand side will reflect the lighting you have installed and linked to Pangealink. You may, for example, have each of your veg and flower rooms listed separately to be able to program them individually. For the purposes of this tutorial, we will choose Rapid Grow from the list. Select Rapid Grow by clicking the eye icon to the right of the selection. After selecting Rapid Grow, select the Map button. Note that there is one zone for the Rapid Grow selection. You may choose more than one zone to program. As you add more zones, note that the number of zones and fixtures will reflect your selections. With Rapid Grow selected, the single zone with 5 fixtures are displayed on the dashboard. The scheduling area can be found to the right of this section. Click on this area to expand the timeline. The timeline is where your lighting schedules can be set. To set a schedule, click on the time of day you want to set the schedule for. For example, if you'd like your fixtures to turn on at 3 a.m., click 3 a.m. on the timeline. After selecting a time, a dialog box appears. Choose if this is a one-time event or if the schedule will be recurring. For the purposes of this tutorial, we will choose a recurring event. Choose the time that the event begins. In our example, the time is set to 3 a.m. After entering the time, select the start date for the schedule. Remember to set a date in the future. You will not be able to save a date that is set in the past. For the purposes of our tutorial, we'll choose Friday the next day. You may select an end date if you want the scheduled program to end on a particular day, or choose no end date so that the program continues to run. The days of the week when the program will run are highlighted in blue. You may choose not to run the program on one or more days by clicking on them. Days where the program will not run will be grayed out. Choose Next to enter scene information. A scene indicates the actions which you want to program for that zone. Enter a name or description for the scheduled event. In our example, we'll name the event Turn the Fixtures On. Select an action for the fixtures. Choose between turning the fixtures on or off, or turning them on at a preset lighting level. Selecting Turn On will automatically turn the lights on at 100% at that beginning time. To turn the lights on to a specific lighting level, select Set Brightness. Use the slider bar to set the brightness level you wish the lights to be set to when turning on. Then choose the zone that corresponds with the fixtures. In our example, once again, we are choosing the Rapid Grow zone. You may choose more than one zone or other zones as well. Click the word Save in order to keep the setting. When you have finished setting up this scene, select the blue Save button at the bottom to save this program. Once the scene is saved, you may review your information by selecting a date on the timeline where that scene is scheduled to run. A yellow triangle will appear on the timeline for any scheduled program you create. Click on the triangle to display the details of that program. In our example, the scene begins on Friday, April 10th at 3 a.m., operates every day, has no end date, and is for all of the fixtures in the Rapid Grow zone. Once a beginning scene is created, an ending scene can be created. This ending scene will dictate when the scheduled program should end. If there is no ending scene, the fixtures would stay on indefinitely. For example, we will create an ending scene where the fixtures will be turned on for 12 hours. To do this, click on the timeline at the point you would like to schedule the ending scene. Select Recurring Event and enter the time you want your scheduled program to end. Then select the Next button at the bottom. Just like we did in Step 1, select a new scene and enter an event name. In our example, we will name the event Turn Lights Off. The action you will choose is Turn Lights Off. Select the zone that applies to this scene. In our case, the Rapid Grow Zone. Remember to click on the word Save in order to keep these settings. Finally, select the blue Save button on the bottom. Once the event is saved, note that a new yellow triangle appears on the timeline. Click the triangle to display the details of the event. Note that in our example, the lights will turn off on Friday at 3 p.m. every day, and there is no end date. You may also add additional events and scenes to the timeline to fine-tune your lighting levels at specific times. For example, after the lights are first turned on, you may want to change the initial setting. In our example, the initial setting was at 50% brightness. To add an event to change that setting during this time, simply click on the timeline again and repeat the prior process. Select either a one-time or recurring event. Enter the time that the event will begin. In our example, we selected 5 a.m. on Friday, April 10th. Select Next to choose a new scene. Enter a name for that scene. In our example, Lights at 100%. Choose your action. In our case, we will change the brightness setting to 100%. Again, choose the zone this scene applies to. In our case, the Rapid Grow Zone. Remember to click on the blue Save in order to keep the settings. Then, select the blue button to save the scene. Once saved, a new yellow triangle appears containing the new instructions. In our example, the lighting level increasing to 100% at 5 a.m. You may review all of the events that you program and schedule. Select the date you would like to review the events for. In our example, Friday, April 10th. Then select the blue Events button. A pop-up box will display the details of all of the scheduled programs for those specific lights. In our example, we selected the Rapid Grow lights by selecting the eye icon to the right of the description on our list of zones. And in our example, the lights have been programmed and scheduled to run turning on at 3 a.m. to a lighting level at 50%, then at 5 a.m. increasing to 100%, and then finally the lights turn on at 3 p.m. on that same day.